Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pentiment. So the last episode was quite uneventful. We went back to our host family, the gardener's house, to sleep, because it was so late. Then we woke up, and it's a very stormy and rainy morning, causing some minor floods and thus trouble for the local peasants. And on our way here, we ran into Martin, that annoying brat who is a known thief. And he apparently, or at least very likely, stole some rings and coins from the Baron. And there's also this book that the Baron, Lawrence Rothvogel, was going to gift to the abbey. That was also stolen as well. But I don't think that it was Martin who stole it, because I can guarantee you that he cannot read. So why would he steal a book, right? So yeah, so some rings and coins were missing, most likely stolen by Martin, and also the book. And then we came here to the scriptorium, and as you can see, the monks are not here because the church bell was ringing for some reason, and it's not even lunchtime yet. So something must have happened, and they went to check out what's going on. And that's exactly what we're gonna do now. So without further ado, let's go. Let's go and see that. What's the fuss? Well, that's a big fire. So we go this way, I think. That sounded like a scream, coming from the cloister. That's coming from just down the hall, maybe the chapter house. Not there. Jesus Christ, I think those screams were coming from the chapter house. Yes, I know. I think something terrible has happened, Master Andreas. Now, what makes you think that? Chapter house. Oh my. What's happened? I think it's the Baron. He's been hurt. He looks like he's dead. Please, Father, where is Brother Florian? Have him come quickly. Be silent, brother. Brother Florian, if you please. I'm sorry, Father. There's nothing to be done. He's dead. Well, shit. Excuse me. Margaret is yelling. It's the blind woman, I think. Sister Margaret, calm yourself. Sister Gertrude, please take Sister Margaret back to the garden. Yes, Mother Cecilia. God protect us. The Baron was a friend of the Prince Bishop of Freising. Why is he so worried about the Prince Bishop? And maybe because the Prince Bishop's friend died here at Kiersau. That may not make Kiersau look so good in his eyes now. That's what he's worried about. This abbey is odd in more than one way. Its existence offends some in the church. We are far enough from Rome and Mainz that everyone forgets about us, but this could bring unwanted attention. Florian, how easily do you think you could dispose of this body? Father Abbot, what are you saying? Why are you questioning me? Why are you wasting precious time? Look at that ink. Ink is all over the place. Do you want to see the soldiers of the Prince Bishop march up our steps and fling your brothers and sisters out of our home? God protect us. And then some Latin, I guess. Ave Maria and stuff. Silence! Silence! Quiet! Calm yourselves, all of you. Father Abbot, Baron Rothvogel's manservant is already preparing to leave. The Baron's wife should be here in a matter of hours. This is not the time for rash decisions. Yes, you are right. Forgive me. But then, what will we do? We must send the Baron's man to the court of the Prince Bishop in Freising at once. Mother Cecilia, the Baron said the Prince Bishop's archdeacon was in Innsbruck for the imperial diet. Even better, swift action will silence any whispers of impropriety on our part. Excuse me. Given the Baron's stature, the archdeacon will undoubtedly come to investigate immediately. We must cooperate with him fully and pray for a speedy resolution. Yes, good. Thank you, Mother Cecilia. Brother Voslav, please detain Brother Piero in the cellar until the Prince Bishop's man arrives. Wait, what? Why are you detaining Brother Piero? What? Brother Piero? Why? That's absurd. He was caught in flagrant delicto, covered in blood with a knife in his hand. What is that? In flagrante delicto, in placing offense, indicating an individual has been caught in the act of committing a crime. But he just found him, right? Father, do you really believe that Brother Piero is capable of such a foul deed? Yeah, he's a frail old man. How could he have possibly killed the Baron? Yes, capable enough when motivated by anger. When was the last time you have seen this guy angry? I had no anger against the Baron, Father Abbot. I simply came across him like this. No anger? Not even for insulting your work and forcing us to give it to Andreas? This is not a subject for debate. When the Prince Bishop's man arrives, we must not be empty-handed. So we're just gonna offer Father Piero to calm the Prince Bishop. What a dick. Even if Piero wanted to kill the Baron, he is not physically capable of the act. He wasn't angry. Anyone who was in the scriptorium knows that. Even Guy knows that. Even if Piero wanted to kill the Baron, he is physically not capable to do that. He can barely hold a brush, much less plunge a knife into a man's body. Be quiet. This is not your affair. It is my affair if you are going to make me part of Brother Piero's supposed motive. Forgive me, Father Gernot, I just don't think that Brother Piero could have done this. Yeah, let's just say screw him. It is my affair if you are going to make me part of Brother Piero's supposed motive. I am through debating this with you. My decision stands. Brother Voslav will detain Brother Piero in the cellar until I say otherwise. Brother Florian, please escort Andreas out of the abbey. Andreas, do not show your face here again until tomorrow. Do you understand? Oh hey, so we get a day off. Neat. This is ridiculous, but yes. Andreas, listen to me. I sympathize with you. I don't think Piero did this either, but this isn't the time to push the abbot. I'm sure the other brothers and sisters believe Piero is innocent as well, but the abbot is worried about the Prince Bishop's attention. If you have any recommendations, I would like to hear them. I have to do something. I can't let Piero die for something he didn't do. Well, if you have any recommendations, what would you do? Take a few hours to calm your nerves and your mind. You need to think clearly. Go to the truckers, eat a good meal, and come back at noons. Is that evening? Monastic hour corresponding to 3 p.m. One of the little hours of prayer. Okay. We won't have much time, but tap on my window with a small stone and I'll let you in. Let me in for what? To examine the body. Oh, so we get to examine the body too. I should follow Florian's advice and go to the truckers. Florian, that was just the guy we talked to. Yeah, the one with the eye patch. And let's go to the truckers. Hopefully it will clear my head. Yeah, we need to apologize to the truckers family as well for not coming to the dinner. And we went with the Baron instead. I wonder where the Baron's servant is. Do we go to the guest house? What a lovely place. What is this? What's this? A letter to the Baron from Prior Ferenc. Let's see if I can read this. Baron Rothvogel. Wait. This is in German, never mind. I can read this. I can't read this. Let's see if I can make something out of it. I believe that they are mentioning the Inquisition here. A ritual. No, I can't make much out of this. My God, Lorenz was blackmailing Ferenc to get him to perform some kind of occult ritual. Ah, okay, so he will tell us. Okay, so I was right about the ritual. It's one thing to read books on magic, but few are foolish enough to attempt to actually practice what's written in them. No wonder Ferenc was so unsettled when Lorenz arrived. The Baron could have gotten him executed for witchcraft. Well, let's go with the occult option since we have it. Some of the substances used in these rituals are dangerous, even lethal, and God forbid someone in the Inquisition finds out about this. Okay, yeah, they do mention the Inquisition in the letter. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, we can't go upstairs, apparently, and the manservant is not here. Oh, I wonder what this building is. Well, let's go to the truckers. You're still here, Till. Hello, Master Malheur. Okay, that takes us to the forest, mill. Yeah, we'll just go this way. Oh. Ah, Columbine. Looks like it's coming in early. Yeah, we don't care about flowers right now. I believe that the trucker's house is this one here. Yeah, Klaus. Hi. What? Good day, Andreas. Back from the abbey already? It's only noon. Andreas, are you alright? No, something terrible has happened. Excuse me. Something terrible has happened. Oh God, what happened? No, forgive me. Come inside and sit down for a minute. If it's not an imposition, I would appreciate a moment to rest. Yes, this has been a difficult day. I could use a distraction. Let's just say this. If it's not an imposition. Not an imposition at all. My friends are always welcome in my home. Well, he doesn't seem to be too mad about the fact that we didn't come for supper that one day. Besides, I could use your opinion on something. That's Marie, okay. And they have a child too. Good day, Andreas. Should I fix you a plate? If it's not too much trouble, I would appreciate it. I'm always glad to eat your cooking, Marie. No, I'm sorry, I don't have much of an appetite right now. Well, I'm always glad to eat your cooking, Marie. Oh my, Klaus, you must invite Andreas over more often, so I can hear someone compliment my food. Excuse me. Your cooking is lovely, darling. Hello, Berthold. Hello, Berthold. How are you? Sleepy. Come back to my workshop. Oh, that's a printing press. I'm going to do a new run of Till Eulenspiegel. There was a printing a few years ago in Starsborg, but it was awful, almost bereft of illustrations. What do you think of these new ones? They look wonderful, excellent work. The figures and composition are terrific, but the background is quite dense and busy. I see where he's coming from, but I don't think it's too busy. So I think it looks wonderful. Thank you. I'll be sure to let Marie know. Are these her woodcuts? They are. The drawings were mine, but she did the block cuts. I've got enough talent to draw the designs, but only she can do the woodcuts and the type. And then we have a prayer before the... Is it now lunchtime? Bless us, O Lord, and these, your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. I'm hungry. Amen. Damn, this looked good. There's lots of sausages. Andreas, what were the bells for at the abbey? They were sounding for a long time. The visiting nobleman, Lorenz Rothvogel, was found murdered in the chapter house. God in heaven! He just rode by here yesterday. Yes, and it gets worse. One of the elderly brothers I work with in the scriptorium, Piero, was accused of the crime. That's awful. A murder in Kiersau? How could a monk do such a thing? I'm sorry, Andreas. The Baron seemed like an interesting man, and I know he's been a patron of the abbey for years. How did he die? Could it have been an accident? And does the abbot really believe that Brother Piero killed him? You have always spoken of him in the kindest terms. It seemed like Lorenz had been stabbed, but I don't know. There was a lot of blood around him. There was a lot of blood, but I would rather not speculate about what happened. I would rather spare you the details, but it's hard to believe that what happened to him was natural. Let's just say that he was stabbed. But no, I can't believe Piero did it. I can't imagine him harming anyone, or even be physically capable of doing it. Stabbed? It's hard for me to imagine a monk doing that as well, but who knows? But could it have been one of their sisters? That's an interesting thought. maybe he had an affair with one of them. But if it wasn't Brother Piero, who do you think could have done it? I did see Lucky Steinauer get into a shouting argument with Lorenz yesterday, just before I walked by your place. Lucky, he was that guy. Yes. Lucky. Why would he have cause to shout at a nobleman? We don't actually know, do we? Select food item to eat. So we can have farmer's bread and sausage. Well, let's take some bread first. There's probably something else going on that you wouldn't know about, dear. What do you mean by that? I'm not one to trade gossip, but if you really want to know, talk to some of the other women in town. Or Mother Cecilia, up at the abbey. She was the one who... Yeah, that lady. The rational one. Who made Brother, was it Gernot, the abbot, to change his mind about disposing of the body? Why Mother Cecilia? I didn't realize she saw much of Tassing. Oh, there's no need for that. Lucky is a forthright man. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll tell you what the argument was about. Thank you both. That's good advice. There's something else though. When Lorenz and I were walking to the meadow, the the widow Kemperun came out of the woods and yelled at them, yeah. Yeah, because I believe Lawrence beated a peasant to death at some point, or that's the rumor anyway, and that peasant happened to be her husband. Yes? Well, she cursed him. I'm not surprised. Ottilia's late husband Rannick ran afoul of Lorenz on his last visit to Tassing. I don't remember the details, but Rannick died just last year, and Ottilia hasn't been the same since. Now let's take some sausage. She was always an old bitch, even before she was old. Klaus, that's enough. She's had to deal with a job's lot in life. And now she lives all alone at the edge of the woods. There's rumors she's going to lose her property soon. I do pity her, even if she is a bitter woman. There should be some exemption in the law for her to inherit. That seems like it would be more just, yes. It wasn't always this way. I think my great-grandmother inherited this land way back when. Well, if men changed it, they can change it back. You are right, as always, my dear. Enough about Ottilia. Is there anyone else you think may have done it? I don't know if he has any ill intent, but Prior Ferenc has been acting strangely since the day Lorenz arrived, and now we know why. Perhaps an academic disagreement. I know they are both avid readers, both of classics and new works. On his last visit, the Baron bought a book on astronomy from me. I know the Prior has some similar interests. But would the Prior kill someone over a simple disagreement? I don't think so, no. It's not that outlandish. When I was in university, I saw men throw punches over small academic concerns. Or the theological option. It depends on the nature of the disagreement. Many have killed or been killed for their beliefs. Well, that's true, yes. Especially when it comes to the Catholics versus Protestants. And especially a century later from now, during the 30 Years' War. That was all about disagreement about faith. Well, at least at the start. What is an opinion for some is a testament of faith for others and worth killing for. That may be so, but I have never seen that sort of anger in Prior Ferenc. Not even when Gernot was made abbot instead of him. Afterward, he seemed bitter, but never violent. That just doesn't seem to be part of his character. So, Lucky, the widow, and the abbey prior. Anyone else? There was something strange when we approached the abbey together. Mother Cecilia was outside with some of the sisters. Mother Cecilia scowled and took the nuns inside without saying a word. It sounds like they have a history at least. Let's eat the rest of the bread or... oh, what's this? Egg pasta. I do not know Mother Cecilia personally, but I have never heard anyone speak badly of her. If she had cause to dislike the Baron, I must believe she had a good reason. Well, Andreas, it sounds like there's a lot to look into. Apparently so. Thank you for talking to me. I was feeling overwhelmed. Thank you for your care. It's helped me understand how I can help Piero. Well, thank you for talking to me. I was feeling overwhelmed. You're always welcome here, Andreas. Anytime. Yeah. You are especially welcome with this one. God be with you, Andreas. Thank you. God be with you. Thank you. Be good until I come back, Berthold. Well, God be with you. Okay, so now we go back. I have several leads to follow, but where should I start? I could talk to Lucky Steinauer. He's probably working in front of his house. Why is his name blue now? The widow, Kemperin, lives south of here, near Franz Bauer. Franz. Okay, that's a new face. Prior Ferenc is usually at the scriptorium, but I won't be able to talk to him until tomorrow. Okay. Speaking of the scriptorium, I really should look at what Ferenc was writing in the book yesterday. Still, nothing would prevent me from talking to Mother Cecilia in the convent. But if I don't attend Brother Florian's examination of the body at the abbey, he'll have to do it without me. Oh yeah, there's that too. Well, let's go and examine the body. And we can also check what Ferenc has written in his book. And then maybe we can talk to Sister Cecilia as well. And not this way. Meadow. Lots of updates are given to me. A stonemason's anger. Ah, so he's a stonemason. Okay. Lots of people that we have to talk to. We got at least 4 suspects, possible suspects, but I wouldn't be surprised if none of them happens to be the murderer. That it's someone else whom we can't think of right now. And this must be the window. Throw the stone at the window. That was quick. Andreas, this way. There you are. I'm glad the storm didn't delay you. Now, even though I gave instructions that I was not to be disturbed, we must work quickly. Seeing a corpse up close can be unsettling for some. I hope you're up to it. Well, I'm not sure, but I want to help Piero. It's alright, I have thrown up enough to not mind it so much. Okay. Well, that's one way to deal with it, I suppose. Just try not to splash me or the body in the process. Now then, you should probably take notes as we go. They might be useful later. Ah, of course. I will begin by inspecting his anterior, starting with the face and head. No visible wounds, no blemishes, teeth in good condition, nothing unusual. Neck, shoulders and chest are ordinary. I need to clean some blood away to examine the torso. Yes, there it is. A puncture wound between the 6th and 7th ribs. It's fairly shallow, though. I estimate it penetrated only about an inch, and it likely came from his own hand. What am I looking at here? Is that the wound here that we're talking about? Ah, okay, now I can see it. Wait, he inflicted on himself? How can you tell? But that doesn't sound deep enough to have killed him. A Nuremberg inch or an Innsbruck inch. I think that's a joke. He inflicted on himself? How can you tell? From the angle and depth of the strike, it is as though he were holding it in his right hand as he fell on his side. You must know that I was not always a monk. I was a mercenary for 10 long years in Poland. Ah, well, that explains the eye patch, I guess. My familiarity with wounds comes from my time on the battlefield. I am no true surgeon, but I am the closest Kiersau has. Yeah, apparently. I didn't even know that surgical body examinations like this were allowed back then. Well, maybe they were disallowed during the medieval times, but in the early modern age they became a more... Well, actually, I believe that they were illegal, at least some places in Europe, because I believe that some of the Italian artists, I don't remember, was it Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo or the like, but I believe that they had to examine and study bodies in secret so that they could study human anatomy better. But they had to do it in secret because it was illegal or something. But I could be wrong. Anyway, if the wound If the wound was that shallow, it doesn't sound like it could have been fatal. It wasn't. It's likely incidental, received while falling on his own knife. He must have some other wound that issued forth all the blood we found him in. Then surely this must mean that Brother Piero is innocent. It means it's incredibly unlikely that Brother Piero stabbed the Baron, but it doesn't explain what actually killed the man. Brother Piero never should have picked up that knife. I'm sure the appearance of guilt never even crossed his mind. Now then, let's move on. Well, there is a sore on his sex. Okay. Probably from the French disease. I doubt it had anything to do with his murder. I'm not familiar with it. Oh yeah, right. The disease French soldiers received in the brothels of Naples. Of course he would know about it, because we chose the hedonist path. Yes, how do you know of it? Oh, I see. Have you taken mercury for it? I haven't suffered from it, thankfully. One must be somewhat cautious. Oh, good. Anyway, it seems the Baron was not the most faithful husband. Ah, you don't say. Not uncommon among the nobility. Yeah, no kidding. I would expect a monk to be more shocked by this. I spent many years as a mercenary. Sex and death are common companions in that world. Yeah, I'm sure. Because you never know when you're gonna die. Your current day could be the last, so you might as well enjoy life while you can. Besides, sex isn't all that rare, even in an abbey. Oh, really? I see. Between the monks and the nuns? Between the brothers? Let's not say that. Monks and the nuns? It's not relevant to our examination, Andreas. Let's continue. Other than a few blisters on his feet from what I assume are new shoes, there is nothing wrong with his legs. Andreas, can you help me turn him over? Of course. There's a slight irregularity in his spine, possibly from an old injury. I don't think it has anything to do with how he died, though. How could that have happened? Or I have spent enough time with nobles to guess that he probably fell off of his horse when hunting. It seems like a silly thing to risk your life for, but I'm not one to talk. Whatever the reason, it didn't contribute to his death. Here it is, a rather dramatic head wound. The dark hair and the blood make it difficult to see, but it's quite bad. In my experience, I have never seen someone walk away from a head wound of this severity. How many head wounds have you seen? Too many, and not enough. As grim as it sounds, there is always more to learn. Italian doctors try to examine as many corpses as they can to fully understand the mysteries of the body. The battlefields of Poland and Lithuania aren't as ideal a learning environment as the University of Bologna, but they did provide an education of sorts. Bologna, where is that? Bologna, one of the largest cities in Italy. Bologna has been a center of the arts for centuries. It houses a well-known university which was home to both Dante and Petrarch. Dante and Petrarch, I don't recognize those. I would rather be treated by someone with experience than a novice with a university education. Why didn't you study medicine in a university? My family was too poor to even consider it. Mercenary work was my way off of the farm. The wound looks like it was caused by a single powerful blow from a blunt object. probably no more than 4 or 5 inches across. How can you tell? The skull is cracked in a single spot, and there is a clear impression in the skin around it. It would take extraordinary precision to hit the same spot twice, unless the Baron were already dead. It's likely he didn't die immediately. How long he could have survived for? I have seen similar injuries in battle. The victims don't last more than a few minutes, but it's an agonizing death. Even so, he couldn't have wandered far from where the blow was first struck. So he may not have been attacked in the chapter house. He was either attacked in the chapter house or someplace in the immediate area. Could he have been attacked outside of the abbey? The cloister? What about the big garden? Is the church a possibility? I doubt that he could have been attacked outside of the abbey. I don't think it's possible. But since we have some suspects, like the widow and Lucky, I guess we have to ask if it's possible. Could he have been attacked outside of the abbey? No, I don't think so. With a wound like that, he would have collapsed before he got inside. Yeah, I thought so. And certainly someone would have seen him. Anyway, whatever killed the Baron was a blunt instrument of considerable heft. The part that impacted him was likely a little smaller than a fist. Could it have actually been a fist? No, I don't think the strongest soldier could do this with a punch unless the Baron's head were pressed to the ground. Even then, we would have also seen the damage to his nose or forehead. Could a woman or an elderly person have done it? Anyone could have, given the right weapon and sufficient height. But Piero has a hunchback. Whoever did this must have caught the Baron unaware. Save the small knife wound, he has no other injuries. I suppose that he was struck, drew his knife to defend himself, and fell on it before Brother Piero discovered him. So I believe we have discovered 2 important things. Piero didn't stab the Baron, and even if he had, that isn't what killed him. The Baron was killed by a blow to the head from a heavy blunt object. Yes, exactly. If we can find what caused the blow, it may lead you to the killer. We also know that Piero didn't stab the Baron. We know that, and I suspect even the abbot knows that, but you may need more evidence to convince the archdeacon. Oh, there is one other item of interest. I found it in the Baron's jacket, but didn't want to open it without you. Oh really, what is it? A note of some kind. I trust you to open it more carefully than I would. More German. What does it say? The girl who died and the innocent with her. Martin's chapter. The girl? What girl? And what innocent? One of the nuns? Someone from the village? Your guess is as good as mine. One of the nuns, maybe? It's been years since any of the nuns have died. Perhaps Mother Cecilia would remember. Can you tell who wrote it? It's definitely someone with a great deal of experience as a scribe, but it can't be Adolf or Guy. They are not an Italian, I can tell you that. Italian scribes use humanist script. This is highly refined Gothic hand. Yeah, even I can see that. As good as Adolf and Guy are, I don't think they could replicate this. What? Really? If not them, who? I intend to find out. I wish you good luck finding the answer. Now I'm sorry to rush you, but I must ask you to leave. Every minute you stay here is additional risk, I think. Were you expecting someone? Brother Florian, could you open up? It's Werner Stolz, the physician from Tassing. Yes, I'm in the middle of something. Could you return after supper? I'm afraid I can't wait. Father Gernot asked me to examine the Baron's body. Alright, just give me a moment. Andreas, I need you to hide yourself. For Werner? I don't care if he knows I'm here. Why? You're not supposed to be in the abbey until tomorrow, remember? Oh, yes, alright. Right, but why does it matter if Werner knows I'm here? Well, yeah, let us go. That's a pretty bad hiding place. That's a fancy jacket. Or coat. Ah, Dr. Stolz, sorry to keep you waiting. Now, what did you need? The abbot wanted me to examine the Baron's body before his wife arrives. It seems unnecessary at this point as I have just completed my own examination. Well then, what's the harm in letting me take a look? Dr. Stolz, with all respect, I have finished. The cause of death is clear. If you had arrived an hour ago, I would have had no problem with your assistance. Assistance? I'm a university-trained physician. I can examine a corpse on my own without the help of a battlefield sawbones. Step out to confront Werner. Let us remain hidden. Regardless of your opinions regarding my abilities, the examination is finished. If you insist on inspecting the body anyway, I must insist that the abbot tells me himself. What? Making me bring the abbot here is a waste of time. So is performing an examination on this corpse immediately after one was just completed. Idiotic. I'll return with Father Gernot presently. That was close. Now quickly, leave through the cloister before they return. Of course. Thank you, Brother Florian. Think nothing of it. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then. And now it's supper time, I think. I should find someone to eat with. Well, maybe the truckers could take us in. I mean, they love us. I can't get that note out of my head. The girl who died and the innocent with her. What could it mean? And who wrote it? Well, I guess we'll find out in the, well, maybe not in the next episode, but later at some point. But I'm gonna end this episode here. And in the next episode, well, we just have to find a place to eat. I guess we go and have some supper at the truckers again, if they will have us. I'm sure that they will. Especially considering that we were supposed to eat supper with them yesterday, but we couldn't because Baron Lawrence Rothvogel insisted that we join with him at the abbey for supper. But anyway, so let's go and have some supper in the next episode, and then decide on what to do from there. Who should we interrogate first? Should we go to Sister Cecilia? Or should we go to and ask Lucky that what was he arguing about with the Baron? Or should we go to the widow and ask where she was? And who was the fourth one? Brother Ferenc, I think it was. So we're gonna go and interrogate and ask questions from at least one of those four in the next episode, I think. So, until then, thank you for watching once again, and see you next time for more Pentiment.